This strategy is boring, but it'll make you $10,000 sports betting fast. You've probably been betting like most bettors, looking for that next big score, following Twitter touts that guarantee winners, or placing random bets hoping to get lucky. But I'm about to show you the methodological approach that took two $5 FanDuel bonus bets and turned it into over $6,500 in verified winnings. And while you're gambling, I'm using systematic strategies that boring professional bettors have been using for decades to extract consistent profits. It's not about trusting your gut, it's about understanding bonus bet optimization, sign-up bonus exploitation, and mathematical arbitrage opportunities that compound over time. Like this prize pick slip where I turned $50 into over $2,500 using correlation strategies that most bettors completely ignore. The sportsbooks want you placing random same-game parlays because those are the bets that make them rich. But the boring, systematic approaches are what separate profitable bettors from the 95% who go broke. These aren't sexy strategies, but they're the foundation of every serious bettor's bankroll. Today, I'm breaking down 4 proven methods that might put you to sleep, but will wake up your bank account, because sometimes the most boring path is the fastest route to $10,000. Let me start with the strategy that most bettors completely waste, turning small bonus bets into life-changing money. Most people get a $5 bonus bet and just throw it on their favorite team, but I'm going to show you how I turn 2 $5 bonus bets into over $6,500 profit. The key is understanding that bonus bets don't return the stake when you win, only the profit. This means that you want to bet them on longer odds to maximize your potential payout. But here's the critical part. You want to make sure on those longer odd plays that each one has positive expected value. Let me show you my exact process using OddsJam's positive expected value tool. Over here on OddsJam's positive expected value tool, how this tool operates is it searches and scans all the available sports books that I have accounts with, and then just shows me all of the odds and then the handful of plays where the sports books have a massive discrepancy. So if I'm looking specifically over here at Caesars, because I want to use some of my Caesars rewards points as a bonus bet on a long shot parlay. Looking at Colorado over here on the money line, who's going to win the football game, Colorado or BYU? You can see that Caesars is paying us out the most compared to every other sports book. So a $100 wager over on Ballybet is going to pay us out $188 in profit. That same $100 wager over at Caesars is going to pay us out $210 in profit. So that's a very big difference in payout for one play. So the idea here is that we want to take the top plays on this screen for Caesars and create a parlay. This is a traditional parlay. We're going to add Max Scherzer, Colorado, Central Michigan, and the under in the White Sox-Yankees game, creating a 4-leg parlay. Now, up here at the top on this purple dollar sign, when we open this play up, I have all 4 plays added here to my parlay bet slip. You can see that Caesars is offering us out the biggest payout compared to any other sportsbook that is allowing us to build this parlay. So compared to Pinnacle, we're receiving plus 27.41 odds compared to plus 20.36. So on a $10 wager, we're going to get paid out $284 compared to $213. That's a really big difference just on a $10 wager. When we come over here to Caesars, you can see that I have all 4 legs selected on my parlay, and we're receiving a payout of plus 27.41. The beautiful thing here with Caesars is I can bet with rewards. So some of the cool things with some of these sports books is when you're wagering with books, you're going to receive bonus points, rewards points. DraftKings does this, Caesars does this. I come over here to bet with rewards. You can see that I have $16.51 in rewards available. So I'm going to go ahead and use $10 in my rewards right now and apply this to this parlay. Remember, this is a $10 bonus bet, so we're only going to receive the profit when this play hits. We're receiving the highest payout compared to any other sportsbook when it comes to this 4-leg parlay, and I'm going to take my $10 and turn it into $274 profit. I go ahead and lock in this play where we're going to have a 4-leg parlay with a chance at a massive payout. Here's the first $5 bonus bet that I turned into over $5,300 cash. Now, there's a couple important things to note. First, this is a traditional parlay. None of these legs have same game parlays, meaning they're not part of the same game at all. They're all 5 separate events. The next thing is that I went over to OddsJam's positive EV tool, just like we did in the Caesars example, and found 5 individual legs that had positive EV. One of my favorite things to do for college football is to find an underdog that's at home, that's looking to be the first quarter or first half money line winner. A lot of times when an underdog is at home playing a highly ranked opponent, you can find incredible value where they'll come out very strong to start the game. For my next $5 bonus bet that I turned into over $1,200 cash, same exact principles. A 5-leg parlay where each individual leg had positive expected value and each individual leg was not a part of the same event. They were 5 separate events. Now, in a different example, with this $100 bonus bet that I received from DraftKings, I turned this into $2,000 cash, where I needed Anthony Volpe to hit a home run and then Spencer Arangetti to get under 5.5 strikeouts. Now, the big long shot play here was Volpe, but I was paying attention to weather conditions at Yankee Stadium. This was also early in the season when the Yankees were using those torpedo bats, and I found incredible value looking for long shot home run odds on the Yankees, specifically with Volpe. So the difference between my approach and 99% of casual sports bettors is I'm not just chasing big payouts. I'm making sure that each individual play has a mathematical edge. Every leg of these parlays had positive expected value on their own. When you add them together in a slip, your returns compound exponentially. The second boring strategy that made me thousands was DFS correlation, specifically on Prize Picks. Most people treat their DFS picks like individual bets, but the real money is understanding player performance and how they correlate with one another. Let me show you this $25 slip that I turned into over $1,800. This wasn't luck, this was systematic correlation analysis. Take a look at this 6-pick slip between the Dodgers and the Athletics. I took the Athletics pitcher Bido over 3.5 hits allowed, meaning he needs to give up 4 hits or more for me to cash this slip. I then took the first 5 hitters in the Dodgers lineup, and the Dodgers have one of the most, if not the best, offenses in all of baseball. And I took various different players they have either over on runs, RBIs, or hits, and all of these are correlated. If the Dodgers' first 5 hitters have a really good day offensively, which on this day they did, they're going to get a lot of hits off of Bido. Bido's going to give up hits, which means he's going to give up runs and RBIs to various different hitters. The key insight here is that these aren't independent events. We are predicting some type of story to happen. And in this slip, we're expecting the Dodgers to have a really big day offensively. And if they do, which they did, that means that the pitcher for the A's or Bido is going to get lit up like a Christmas tree. It's the same example here with the Pirates and the Phillies slip, where I turned $50 into $1,000. We expected the Pirates pitcher to have a very rough day on the mound and the Phillies offense to have a big day. So some key factors with correlation slips is, number 1, pay attention to weather. And then number 2, we're looking at going after some very strong offenses, some of the best offenses in all of baseball, and we're going up against a very weak pitcher. In the Cardinals slip, where I took $50 and turned it into over $2,500, what you need to understand here is that everything was correlated except for the esports play. That play just had positive EV on its own. So we ran a correlated slip where we thought all of the Cardinals hitters were going to have a big day, and they did. And then we took one pick from esports that had positive EV and put that on our slip to turn out a massive payout. The boring truth is that correlation betting has a much higher ROI than just picking random individual bets on your DFS apps. When you understand players on the same team's performances aren't independent events, you can structure your slips in a certain way to benefit from that correlation. Most DFS players are just picking their favorite players or going with their gut feelings. I'm using mathematical correlation analysis to identify spots where multiple picks are going to hit together, but most importantly, we're getting paid out way more than what we should on Prize Picks. So foundations from the bonus bet parlay strategy combined with the correlation is that we're finding plays that have positive EV, and we're getting paid out way more than what we should. If I ran that same exact slip instead on Prize Picks over at Underdog, the payout would have been massively different, and I wouldn't want to have played that slip over on Underdog because it's all based on the payout. The third boring strategy is systematically exploiting sportsbook promotions. While most bettors see promos as free money to gamble with, I see them as guaranteed profit opportunities when converted properly. Sportsbooks spend millions on marketing, and their biggest expense is promotional offers. But what they don't want you to know is that you can turn their marketing budget into profit using mathematical conversion strategies. The key is understanding that most of these promos can be converted into cash using arbitrage principles. Instead of just betting your bonus money and hoping that it wins, you can convert 60 to 80% of that bonus cash into guaranteed withdrawable cash. When DraftKings gives you a $100 bonus bet, most people just bet it on a game that they like. But by using proper conversion techniques, you can turn this into guaranteed profits. So now you have two different strategies. You could use the first strategy, which is find some legs that have positive expected value and put it on a long shot. Or you can come over here to OddsJam's promo converter and convert almost 70% of this $100 into guaranteed profits. So you put your $100 bonus bet over here on this moneyline play for Diallo to win the tennis match. Then over here on BetMGM, you will need some of your own startup capital, but you'll put a $260 cash wager over on MGM. One guy is going to lose, one guy is going to win. We don't know which side's going to win or lose, but no matter what happens, you're going to receive your $260 back plus either $70 or $69, depending on which sportsbook wins the wager. So you're effectively converting 69.33% of this $100 bonus bet into guaranteed profit. The strategy for converting these bonuses will always be the same. You'll take your bonus bet, go to one sportsbook, and put it on a long shot underdog. Then bet the opposite side of that match on a different sportsbook that's most likely a very heavy favorite, putting up some of your own capital. But the beautiful part here is that you're going to receive your capital that you put up back, plus converting a large percentage of that bonus bet into profits. So where this becomes very profitable is you can do this across multiple sports books. If you receive various different bonus bets from the books, you can day trade these sports books, extracting 60 to 80% of the bonus bet value each time. Rinse and repeat this strategy, and that's how you can easily build your bankroll. If you live in a state that's offering $5,000 in bonus bet promotions, you can turn 70% of that into guaranteed cash. That's $3,500 of the sportsbook marketing budget now into your pocket as profit. The fourth and most boring strategy is arbitrage betting, and it's also the most profitable. In March alone, I made over $15,000 only using this strategy. Let me show you my daily profit calendar from March. There were 31 days. I placed bets on 28 of those 31 days. Again, with arbitrage betting, your profitable opportunities are going to be dependent on what's going on in the sports betting calendar. More events going on a specific day, more opportunities to day trade the books to make a profit. As you can see, I made roughly between $250 to $500 per day. Again, the first day of March, I bet the over 128.5 total points on BetMGM. I then bet the under on a different sports book on that same game. Day trading the books to make a profit, I make $10 to $20 per trade. I rinse and repeat that strategy throughout the day. Looking at Air Force in New Mexico, MGM and FanDuel, I do the same exact thing. When we come down here to the bottom, you can see that I placed for the entire month almost 1,000 bets, made an almost 8% return off of my investment. And while I wagered $199,000 in the month, remember, I go and place a bunch of bets the first day, receive that money back because all the bets have settled, take that money and reinvest it into the market the second day. Rinse and repeat that for 28 out of 31 days. And that's how I have such a high wager size, but that's how I made so much money, because I took the money that I originally staked plus the profits, added that on top, and reinvested it back into the market the next day. With arbitrage betting, this might not sound like much, making $5, $10, or $15 profit on one trade. But if you can execute this strategy 10 to 20 times per day, the profits seriously add up. The key with arbitrage is once you receive those profits, I don't withdraw those and go pay my bills or go out for a nice meal. I make sure that I reinvest that back into my bankroll so that I can create a larger bankroll for the next day and make even more profits. The important thing with arbitrage betting is speed and accuracy. These plays will not stay out there all day long, but understanding how to utilize the calculator, understanding where to navigate these sports books to find these plays is very important to your success. You need to place both bets quickly before the line moves, and you need to make sure that you have the correct bet sizes down to make sure that you lock in profits. Arbitrage betting works because all of these sportsbooks set their odds or prices independently of each other. They're in competition for your business. Sometimes they get out of sync. We can day trade them to make a risk-free profit. So over here on Buddha Baker between Fliff and DraftKings, anytime the plus odds number is larger than the minus odds number, we can make a profit or over a 2% return off of our investment. When we click on this calculator here, the more money that you can invest into this play, the more money that you can make. So if you have $185, 100 of it goes over to Fliff, 85 goes over to DraftKings. We're going to make $4 in profit roughly no matter what happens. But again, if you can wager $200 over at Fliff, 166 over on DraftKings, you're going to make almost $7 in profit. Again, just over 2% return on this play. Using OddsJam software, if you come over and click the live button, live arbitrage betting is where things can get absolutely crazy. Between Ballybet and Onyx right here, we're wagering on if this player is going to get a hit or not. And this is almost a 10% return off of our investment. So if we wagered $150 total on this play, we're going to make back over $17 in profit. That's a 10.5% return. So with live arbitrage betting, the plays move a little bit faster, but your edge is even higher. And that's where you can start to rack up multiple plays a day and see these profits roll in. Now, I know these strategies can seem overwhelming when you're first getting started. There are a lot of moving parts: multiple sports books, conversion calculations, correlation analysis, and arbitrage execution. That's why you can work with me one-on-one to get help and have these strategies implemented correctly for you. If you want personalized guidance on maximizing your bonus conversions, identifying correlation opportunities, and building a systematic arbitrage operation, click the first link in the description where you can book a free 30-minute call with me. Now let's get back to the rest of the video. Here's why these boring strategies consistently outperform the exciting same-game parlay strategies that most casual sports bettors implement. First, they're based on mathematical edges, not luck or gut feelings. Every bonus bet conversion, every correlation play, every arbitrage opportunity has a quantifiable expected value. Second, they're systematic and repeatable. You're letting the math and the edge do the hard work, grinding out consistent profits that compound over time. Third, they exploit the sportsbook's business model instead of fighting against it. While recreational bettors are placing same-game parlays that the sportsbooks want them to play, you're using the book's own promotions and pricing inefficiencies against them. Fourth, they serve different purposes in your betting portfolio. Arbitrage betting and promo conversions provide steady, low-variance profits that build your foundation. Correlation parlays and long-shot bonus bet parlays provide massive upside and high potential. The key is understanding each strategy and sizing your bets appropriately. The boring truth is that consistent profitability from sports betting comes from having multiple systematic approaches that are working together, not relying on one single method. With this betting portfolio, you're developing discipline and patience, which are the two most important traits when it comes to long-term profitable sports betting success. You learn proper risk management across different strategy types. You're not emotionally attached to each single bet because you understand the mathematical edge and expectation of each one of these plays. You're not emotionally attached to the outcomes because you understand the mathematical edge and expectation, whether this is an arbitrage play or if it's a highly correlated NFL parlay. But most importantly, these strategies build your foundation that you can actually scale your betting operation. Once you master these strategies with small amounts wagered at first, you can scale this operation up considerably, placing larger bet sizes and making even more money. Let me give you a reality check about these strategies. They're not get-rich-quick schemes, and they're definitely not exciting. Bonus bet conversion requires discipline and patience. You can't just throw your bonus bets on a bunch of random games to build quick wealth. Correlation analysis takes research and understanding different sports and how you can find specific edges. You do need to understand that the edge with this strategy is very strong, but the swings with this strategy are very intense. Remember, you're playing anywhere between 5 or 6 leg parlays, so the swings can be very dramatic. Losing 6, 7, or 8 picks in a row is not uncommon, but because we're getting paid out more than what we should, on the slips that we do hit, we're going to recoup all of our losses plus profits. So while you're in for a wild ride with this, trust the math and the edge. It's very strong. Arbitrage betting requires speed, accuracy, and access to multiple sports books. But what these strategies offer that exciting betting doesn't is mathematical certainty. When done correctly, these approaches have positive expected value that compound over time. The choice is yours. You can go chasing the next big score and hoping to get lucky, or you can embrace the boring strategies that actually build wealth. The fastest way to $10,000 in sports betting isn't some miracle bet or insider information. It's through systematically applying boring mathematical strategies that exploit the sportsbook's own business model. While everyone else is gambling on their favorite teams and chasing Twitter touts, you can be converting bonuses and making guaranteed profits. But now that you know these 4 boring strategies that can make you $10,000 in sports betting, you still need to learn the complete system for building a bankroll from scratch if you're just getting started. Which is why I made a full video breaking down what I do if I only had $100 to start sports betting today. So watch this video on the screen where I show you the step-by-step blueprint tutorial for turning $100 into thousands using systematic bankroll building strategies that actually work.